Ramante Ramam Ramesham Vaje Ramena Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalayasthada Bhotame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Ayyun
Ayun,
Zulruk
Lulruk,
Ayong Ayauch Hayavarat Lan Nyamangananam Jabai Garadash Jabagadash Kapha Chacha Chacha Chatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Timasha Sutrani. See, first thing, last time I made an error in that sutra, the last sutra which we saw. Looking at this form, Atta Karmakaha. This one in the last verse, we saw the form Atta Karmakaha. I think somebody mentioned it also comes the Ramaraksha Stotram, it comes Atta Karmakaha. So Atta Karmakaha we saw was a Bahuvrihi. So Attam Karmakam Yena Saha. So the word Atta we derive as a participle form, the past participle from the Dhatu Ada. And that's where I made the mistake. Let us go there for a second. In the last class, we used the Sutram 7447. When we did the A plus Da plus Kta, we used 7447, which was fine. That is the correct Sutram. But from then on, we made one mistake. So let me just put that up again here. So we did, we had, let me see, A plus Da plus Kta, Adakta. So we are using 7447. And let's look at what 7447 is saying. So let me see, 7447. I don't need this one now. And there was one very subtle problem which I didn't notice, but I'll tell you what the problem is now, is that the following sutram also takes anuvritti from this 6447. And that's what I didn't notice. This is a lesson for us. Lesson for us is that, for me rather, also is that always make sure that you read the vritti of the sutram and that you follow according to that. So let's go to 7447 and what has happened there. So what that sutram is saying that when you have a ajanta upasarga, then following that, when the pratyaya following is tado kiti, the takara, the kit pratyaya is following, then make the and the dhatu is da, then make the adesha as ta. So let's go there. Let's see what the Vritya Sutram says. So we do have right now the upasarga is a, and then we have the dhatu da. So everything is satisfied. So conditions are satisfied. He says ajantad upasarga uttarasya da iti etasya. So require ajanta upasarga, which we have. A is our upasarga. Then we have uttarasya da iti etasya, which we also have. We have dhatu da. Ghu sanyakasya. This because this dhatu of the form da and gha are called da and dha. They are called ghu. Dada Gvadap is a sutram. Dada Gvadap. So that's the sanya sutram. He says that but some of them are included from that or excluded from that. Anyway, our dhatu is in that list of ghu sanyakas. So I'll give you that number. The sutram is Dada Gvadap. It's a sanya sutram. It will be in the first chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. Dada Gvadap. And so that what is he saying? This has to be a ghu sanyaka, otherwise it will not happen. So that number is, let's see, Dada Gvadap is 1120. 1120 is a sutram. So let's look at that. So what that sutram is saying is that dhatus of the form da and dha, they get the sanya of the ghu, but not the dhatu dap, excluding dhatu dap. So that's 1120 da dha gvadap. But our dhatu is right now the dudhai dane. So we are going to be fine with that one. So by 1120 we do have the ghu sanya for the dhatu da that we are using. So that is okay. Ghu sanyakasya ta ityayam adesha bhavati takarado kiti. So everything is satisfied. The only problem was that this ta iti ayam adesha bhavati, without looking in detail, last time I made the mistake of saying that this ta will be the akara sahita adesha, because I thought that we will nicely make it the sarva adesha, because see, because achaha is in panchami, so you would have otherwise had the adef parasya paribhasha coming, that when you indicate a panchami, then the adesha will only replace the first letter of what is following. Adef parasya is the sutram. In fact, let's go through that also for a second. So to avoid that, I made the anekal adesha. You can replace the entire da with ta, and then I took the atolopaha, and that's what we did. But that has one major problem, and that is that I didn't look at the following sutram, which requires anuvritti from here. And first, let's look at the adef parasya. The adef parasya also will be in 1154 sutram. So let's look at that one for a second. Adef parasya. Okay, adef parasya will be 1157. We'll come back to this one, 1157. So whenever you have this panchami nirdesha is being done, and an adesha is being done, then the adesha will only replace the first letter of what follows, adef parasya. Let's look at the whole those paribhasha sutras and the adeshas for the substitution. So where does the substitution go? Let's look at that. It is right. All is in 1152. I think it all starts. Alontyasya nichya adef parasya. Okay, let's look at this one. 1153. Now adef parasya is 1154. The number is off over here. 1154 is the number. It says that parasya karyam shishya manam adehe alaha pratyetavyam. So we should take it as the applying to the beginning letter only of the following item when the panchami is used to do any vidhi. So we do have that, because we say, see, our sutram which is saying right now that if you achaha upasargas, ajanta upasargas is what we are looking at right now. So, but there is another sutram which says the anekal sarvasya. The anekal sarvasya, when you have an anekal adesha, then that replaces everything. Anekal sarvasya. So here, so this is the sequence of rules here. 1152 says alontyasya. So when a substitution is to be made, we'll replace only the last letter of that which is being substituted. The next sutram says nichya. So if that adesha has the ka varga panchama as an it letter, then also it will replace the last letter only, even if it is anekaj. Then 54 says adef parasya. But if the panchami nirdesha is being done, then only replace the beginning letter of that following member. But then 55 says anekashis sarvasya. So these are sutram, this 54 through 55. So 55 is saying, but if the adesha is anekal, it's more than one letter, then replace the entire sthani, the entire thing is gone. So these are ones that we need to look at. Now in our case, we had the adef parasya was coming for us, because we had the achaha is a panchami nirdesha and ajantad upasarga. Let me put this number here, 1152 to 55, and 54 was coming for. Let me go back to the document. So always keep these sutras in mind. These 4 sutras in mind. You have to keep this in mind. So for substitutions, when to know for substitutions, which is called as the adesha. You have to keep in mind the paribhasha sutrani. Paribhasha means the rules of operation. Paribhasha. Sutrani. There are 4 of them for this, and they are from this 1152 to 55. And the first one said alontyasya, only replace the last letter. second one said nicha with the ka ka ga ga nga, that nga is a marker, then replace the last letter only, no matter what, even if it's anekal. 54 said adesh parasya. So if you have panchami, if you're telling do it to the following, to the paraha, to the following member, then only the first letter of him gets replaced. The 55 says anekashis sarvasya. If the adesha is anekal, replace the whole thing. So always check these 4 rules when doing any substitution. In our case 55. In our case 55 will apply. 1455 will 1154 will apply. Sorry, the adesh parasya. Unless it is the substitution, the adesha is anekal. In which case we can use 55. Adesha is anekal. Anekal means more than one letter. Then 1155 will apply. So this will now dictate. So last time in a hurry, what I did was that I know that if you replace the entire da with the ta, we can get the correct form as atta. But let me tell you what the problem was. And when I knew I had a bad feeling after the class, when I looked at the notes, I thought I should check with the Kashika and Siddhanta Kaumudi word, because this sutram is not in Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. This sutram which we are doing right now, this 7447, this is not in Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. See, I have not studied all 4,000 sutras in detail. I mean, I know about more than 1,000 of them pretty well. Others I can, we can just look at the vritti and use them. But once in a while you get tripped off. Once in a while, this was one of those cases. So this 7447, which is the achaha upasarga taha, is not there in Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. See, Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi takes about 1,300 or 1,400 sutras and gives you about 75% of the language, which is what I've studied in detail. The others, we can fill in the gaps. So it gives you enough to learn the rest on your own, so to speak. So anyway, so now look at the next sutra. Next sutram says apobhi. Doesn't concern us right now, but what happens, anuvritti from the 47 goes down to 48. Apobhi says that when you have this pratipadikam up means water, comes in Gita, right? Raghuvamsham kaunteya. Raghuvamsham. Let me inaugurate the Gita for today. I think it's chapter number 7. Raghuvamsham kaunteya. Prabhasmi shashi surayoho. Pranavastara vedesho. Shabdakhe Purusham Nashu, Punyoganda Prithivyancha, Tejaschasi Bhavasa, Jivanam Sarabhuta, Tapaschasi. Yeah, it comes in because even though the 10th adhyaya of Gita is called Vibhuti Yoga, there is also a small Vibhuti Yoga also in the 7th adhyaya. And there, this comes this Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. Next one. Okay, here it is. Apsu. Apsu. This up is a very strange word. It is a nitya bahuvachanam. It always goes in the plural. It becomes apaha, then becomes apaha, then it becomes adbhi, adbhya, adbhyaha, then apam, yopam pushram veda. You must have heard that many times, right? So apam is of the waters. Then apsu. So what this sutram is saying, this 7448 is saying, for this pratipadikam up, if the pratyaya is a bhakaradi, which means those 3 of them, the bhi and bhyaha, bhyaha, then the up should become ad. Become adbhi, adbhya, adbhya. Comes in Purush Suktam, you must have heard that, right? Adbhyas sambhutas prithivya sa'acha, so that adbhya, so adbhya is a form. So I mean that sutram 7448, clearly only the pa needs to be replaced by ta. You cannot replace the entire up. Otherwise the whole pratipadikam will be lost. So you want to replace only the ending pa by this ta in that sutram 7448. So now if we take the ta as the anekal adesha in 7447, we'll be completely stuck in 7448. The same anuvritti is going down. We'll have to replace the entire up. That will be a major problem. So what they have done is that there are 2-3 ways to rectify the situation. And I'll give you only one way because we don't want to spend the whole class on this sutram. But But what, if you look at the, let's see, maybe I can show the Siddhanta Kaumudi, the way it has given the, okay, they have not given. Okay, let me see, maybe I can find it for you. 7447. The way they've done is that they've taken that achaha, and repeated it twice. Then avartanam, we made it twice, and made the meaning that, so ajantad upasargad, da iti etasya achaha. So repeat achaha again. So only the ach bhagaha of da is replaced by ta. So that's how they get around this problem of the adef parasya. By repeating the term ach, make one as a panchami, qualifying upasargat, make second as a shashti, saying the sthana of da, the a becomes, and clearly there is a problem here. Okay, there is a problem here. So we need to do something to rectify the situation. Let me see if I can pull up the vritti for you over here. And it says that ajantad upasargat okay, let's see what Kashika says. Achaha iti etat dvir avartayitavyam, means make it, you repeat it twice, use it twice. Tatra ekam panchamyantam, make one as panchamyantam. Upasarga visheshanartham. Then you get the ajantad upasarga, which is fine, we need that. The second, aparam, api shashtyantam, make it a shashtyantam. It may make it a sthani nirdeshartham. A lot of typos here, please correct the typos. Becomes sthani nirdeshartham. So make it a, tell me what the sthana is. Iti akarasya sthane takara bhavati. So that's the one way of, there are some other ways also dealing with it. So what in the sutram they have done is that the achaha has been duplicated. It's used in two places. So make it ajantad upasargat as one use, and second make it the sthani also achaha. So in place of the ach of da, which means that ending a, we have to use the ta adesha. And in this ta, they have made the akara ucharanatham. The adesha is only ta. It is not the ta. So last time what I was taking it as, without going through all these details, what I did last time was, I took the entire ta as the adeshaha and made anekal adeshaha. I mean, it was fine for this Sutram 7447, but 48 you'll have a major problem if you do that. In 48 it will also become a sarvadesha up, and that will completely destroy the pratipadikam in that 7448. So I just may put in the document here that achaha is used twofold, and one to qualify the one in the ablative case in the panchami, one in panchami, that's qualifying the upasargat. So qualifying upasargat. Qualifying upasargat. And the other one is, I'm sorry, it's more complicated than we want to deal with, but we have to make some way to justify this sutram and to use it. And some of the sutras are like that. They are bit convoluted. Upasargat. And the second, make it a second in the shashti, make it, and that is to qualify, to indicate the place of operation. So what then finally we get the meaning now is that this is done so that okay, and so maybe we'll do that also, and the substitution is only ta, not the entire ta vidya, is only the letter ta. So the akara is uchcharanartham. In the sutram we have the ta, the a is used only for pronunciation, only ta. So all this is done to all this is done in order to avoid problems in the following sutram. Avoid problems in 7.4.48. Okay. So because there we don't take the anuvrutti of achaha at all. There we just make the alontyasya. Only the pa becomes ta, and we get the form adbhihi, adbhya, adbhyaha. So now what do we have now? We have, so after we make all these adjustments, then we get the a plus the plus a plus the. So we get like that now. We get, because only the a portion of da is going to become ta. So we get like this. So we will do like that. So make it da plus ta and plus the tatta. So now we got ta, ta, ta. We got of course here anubandha lope, remove the anubandha ka, dashakvatadite, only ta remains. So this is what we have now. So now what we do is we do the kharicha, because this is when a khar letter follows, this da is going to become into ta. So now we are going to the tripadi section to do the sandhi rules, and we have to do the kharicha. If you have a jal letter followed by a khar, it will become to char letter. I think that's 8.4.55. We apply kharicha. So we then get the form 8.4.55 we apply. So let me just copy that down, and so the da is going to become ta by 8.4.55. So now we got ta, ta, ta. So this can be one final form, atta, with an extra takara in there. Or what we can do is that, so this is one final form by 8.4.55. So you do that, and then we get, so basically now we get the atta. So we have, this is what we have, atta. All we can do is that we can get a secondary form by removing one that middle takara by the jaro jari savarne. Jaro jari savarne. So when we have the two jars, which are the second and third member of a conjunct, so basically we have a hal plus jar plus jar. We have three member conjunct we should have. The second, third should be savarna jars. Then that prior jar will optionally take lopaha, jaro jari savarne. So 8.4.65. So by 8.4.65, you can optionally remove the middle takara. Okay, so by 8.4.65, optionally remove the middle ta. Okay. So then we get the second form, which is what we have in the text finally, to give us atta. So that's the final form. Okay, so just so what does this 8.4.65 require? 8.4.65 requires, so 8.4, this is an important rule, 8.4.65. So 8.4.65 requires the following combination. 8.4.65 requires a hal plus jar, and the two jar should be savarna. Remember this rule. So it's come to use many times. Requires this hal, so any consonant plus a jar, so it starts from jabai all the way to shasha sar, so it's jar plus jar, so which is what we had, because we had ta ta ta, so we had that, and those two jars should be savarnas. So this should be, I'll make it savarna jar, savarna jar. So savarna jar. So that will do it. Okay, so that's what we had for from atta. Now, so one more time, quickly reviewing. This sutram said that if you have ajanta upasarga, following that if you have the dhatu da, which is Ghusanyaka, then followed by Pratyaya, which is Tadau Kiti. Then the Adesha is Ta. It did not say whether the Adesha is Ta with the A or just Ta, but we have to make a decision. So in the following sutram though, we definitely need the Adesha only as Ta. So therefore in this sutram also we should make it only Ta. But then that raises the issue that if you make it like that, then using the Adef Parasya Paribhasha, you should only the Da would have been replaced by Ta, by Adef Parasya. So to avoid that problem, they repeat this Achaha twice. Make it one as a Visheshanam for the Upasargat and one to indicate the Sthani. So then they say the A of Da, the Ach of Da, which is the A, should become Ta. That's how we got the A, Da, Ta, then we did the Kharicha, and then finally we used the Jarojari Savarane to remove one Takara. Okay, so please, Simon's correction from last time. The lesson for us and for me also is that you should read the Vritti and make sure that to follow the same steps that there. Actually, in this case, we were kind of okay. Vritti-wise, we were fine. Only thing is that the complication with the following sutram was not realized last time. So, okay, so let's continue from there. I think we are on sutram, I think shloka number 14 we are doing now. So let's see. I think we began that last time. So tau suketu sutaya khili krite kaushikad vidita shapaya pathi ninyatuhu sthala niveshatatani lilayaiva dhanushi adhijyatam. First of all, here it's in the Sandhi rule itself, you will notice that this one is coming. See, Dhanushi Adhijyata. Why no Sandhi over here? Anybody in the class? I know Kartik knows, Kalpesh probably knows. Anybody in the class? Why we didn't do Iko and Achi over here? Because we have Dhanushi Adhijyata. Why we did not do Iko and Achi over there? Let me see. Anybody raise their hand? So why Iko and Achi was not done in this one? The Dhanushi plus Adhijyata. Is this Sandhya Bhava? Visandhi Dosha is coming here by any chance? It is not. Let's see. Nobody? Okay.
Pragruhya?
Yeah, Pragruhya. Anuji has the answer. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Pragriya.
What is Sutram, Anuji? What Sutram?
I know that this is the dual case that happens.
So the...
Idu Ded Vivachanam Pragruhyam.
Correct. Idu Ded Vivachanam Pragruhyam. The sutra number is 1111. 1111. Idu Ded Vivachanam Pragruhyam. If you have a dual form, could be Subanta, could be Tinganta, doesn't matter. If it's a long E-U, or if it is the Ekaraha, then that gets the Pragriya Sanya. That long E, U or A gets a Pragriya Sanya. Sutram 111. And then, so that's only a Sanya Sutram. And then comes in 6.1, Panini says that these items which are Pragriya Sanya, they followed by an Ach, then they become Prakritya. They don't undergo any change. So Pratapragriya Achinityam, I think that's the Sutram. That comes in the in 6.1. Let me give you the number for that. It's a two-step process. So 6.1.125 then tells us that they will become Prakritya. Means they will stay in their natural state. So that is 6.1.125. Pratapragriya Achinityam. 6.1.125, it is here it is. So 111 plus 6.1.125. This sutram has, I think, only one example in the Gita, the 13th chapter. And let me put this in the document first. So 111, 6.1.125. There's no sandhi between Dhanushi and Adhijyata. Sandhi rule should be now, second nature for you. So master them by 111 and 6.1.125. There is no yan sandhi between, let's see, yan sandhi between the dhanushi adhijyatam. Let's see. No. So that's a dual form. The dhanushi is a dual form. It is the neuter accusative dual. And adhijyatam. Maybe I'll just say like that. Adhijyatam. Okay, so that's one thing. In the Gita example is the example 13th adhyaya. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi. Vidyanadi ubhavapi. So that prakritim purusham chaiva. Prakriti, and this is also dual form. Prakriti and purushaha. Know them both to be beginningless. So anadi is a dual form. We'll come towards the middle of the 13th chapter. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi. Vikaranshcha gunanscha viddhi prakritim sambhava. Let me see. Did I miss it? Let's see. Did I miss it already? Here it is. Here. Number 19. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi. This is the example in the Gita of this. I think only one place in Bhagavad Gita you have this. Anuji's hand is up.
No, I was just going to say it's 19. That's all.
19. Thank you.
Yeah.
So 13, not 19 is the example in the Gita. Okay, only one place in Gita. So 13.19. So Gita example is 13.19. Okay, so let's that's one thing to notice. Let's go back to the verse, see if any other padacheda issues that we have. Okay, so one more time. Tau suketu sutaya khili krite kaushikad vidita shapaya pathi ninyatuhu sthala niveshatatani lilayaiva dhanushi adhijyatam. Now what is the verb over here? The verb is ninyatuhu. Ninyatuhu. Again the same ending atus, which we have been seeing. I think we already saw it 1, 2, 3 times. So we won't go through all the details. But this is a lit lakara. It's a third person dual parasaipada lit form. The dhatu ni. Dhatu is ni. Sutram is again the parasaipada nam. Nal atus us thal atus nal vamaha. Lit lakara. Those 9 endings in parasaipada. The tiptas ji, siptastha, mip was mas yatha sankham. It is sarvadesha. Sarvadesha is respectively yatha sankham. They become nal atus us, thal atus a, nal va and ma. And again, lit mostly only talk about third person. So only remember the first 3. Nal atus us. We see an atus ending in verbs. You can almost close your eyes and say this has to be a third person dual. Lit lakara in parasaipada. The only thing is of some interesting sandhis going on here. Let's look at the sandhi. So again we go through duplication because of in 6.1 Panini says when is duplication required. There are only about 4 or 5 rules over there, beginning of 6.1. And hopefully when I give these numbers over and over again, at least some of you can start remembering these sections now, because in 6.1.1 starts ekacho dve prathamasya. This is an adhikara running down here. So the duplication is only done for the prathama ekacha bhagaha. So the first section which has only no more than 1 ach. You start from the beginning of the term and you keep on going until you hit the second ach or the end of the term. And that is called the ekach, prathama ekacha bhagaha. So, but below that says, very first term it says 6, 1, 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 4 rules. 6, 1, 8, 9, 10, 11. When is abhyasa required in this language? 6, 1, we'll put this in document. So 6, 1, 8, 9, 10, 11 tells you when to do abhyasa. So let's put that here. 6, 1, 8 to 11. Only 4 rules. So these 4 rules tell us when to duplicate. when to duplicate, okay? The ekach bhaga, duplicate. Okay, so now in that, the very 618 itself says, liti dhaturanabhyasasya. Liti dhaturanabhyasasya. So when you have a when your lit pratyaya is following, then if the dhatu has not taken abhyasa already, then do abhyasa. I mean, do abhyasa one time only, that's all it means. So we had ni plus lit, then we did the abhyasa, skipping some steps so to save some time. We now have the following situation. We have ni plus the reason I'm putting this over here, I want to go to the sandhi rules here to see what happened. Plus atus. So we already bought we should start with ni plus lit, then do the halantyam upadesh achadunasika it lasya tipta ji. So you had ni plus tas. At that point you can do the abhyasaha, make it ni, and also you can also make the substitution of tas by atus. See, let me back up one step. We just back up one step here. Is that, let's say when we had a situation of ni plus atus, because we had the pratyaya tas, and then by 3482, the tas became atus, because we already saw that lit lakara, we have the three substitutions of null, atus, us, etc. So 3482. The question here itself comes that, why not do the yant sandhi here itself? Why do the abhyasa first and then do the yant sandhi? Now the answer to that is, Panini has a sutram for that, which says dvirvachane achi. Dvirvachane achi. Give the number for that. Dvirvachane achi says, don't do any of this ajyadesha when dvirvachane kartavye. So when duplication has to be done, you wait and do the duplication first, and then only you can do any ajyadesha. So like equal and achi and all. So 1159 is a sutram. 1159 dvirvachane achi. Dvirvachane. Many times it will not make a difference, but sometimes it will make a difference. You do not do any ajyadesha. If duplication is pending, wait for that. Then only you can do the ajyadesha. So 1159 is dvirvachane achi. Let's look at the sutram quickly. Dvirvachane achi, dvirvachane achi, dvirvachane achi. Okay. Now again, notice one thing by the way. Malinatha has given no commentary on this, because ninyatuhu, he says only what does he say? Nitavantau. So he converted that lit lakara into a tavatu, into participle form, because it's very easy to understand. Nitavantau means they took. Okay. And then he makes one more comment, which we will look at this comment later on. But he did not go into any detail like the atus coming in and all that, because this is all samanyam, So by this point we are supposed to know all this prakriya on our own, lit lakara. See, in a general statement, I think these commentators, they assume that you know the Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi fairly well before coming into these Kavya Granthas. So before you come and do this, we should have learned or at least the Antoine book 1 and 2, which we are doing in the Wednesday class. So that should be completed before coming here. So actually this Thursday class was originally a Monday class, and that we had already finished books 1 and 2 over there. So that's then only we came over here. But we'll no problem, we'll repeat some of this stuff as you go along. But that is why there's no commentary on that, ninyatuhu. We are supposed to know that form on our own. Again, if you can guess the dhatu is ni, you can look it up, in many of the books that are available. And one of my favorite places to look up these lakara prakriya is in dhatu vritti. In the Madhavya dhatu vritti, in the very first 3-4 lines, he will cover all the lakaras of every dhatu. Of course, he will not give every step of every dhatu, but if there is any special work to be done, surely he will mention that. If you want to quickly look at whatever is in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, you can go to Bhaimi Vyakhya, and remaining ones, go to the dhatu and look at the first few lines. Okay. Somebody has to mute himself. I'm getting. Is it Kalpesh? Is it you? Somebody has to mute themselves. Maybe it's Kalpesh. Okay. All right. So ninyatuhu, no commentary. So let's come back to our document. So we are a little bit on our own over here. Now, so Dirvachane Achi was the one. I think I give you the number 59, and let's quickly look at the vritti for that on 1159. Let me see the 1159 Dirvachane Achi. Well, actually, I already have it here. I'm sorry, I already had it. So here, Dirvachane Achi. Okay. So what does it say? Dirvachana nirmit. I take it lagusam. Dvitva nimitte achi achaha adeshaha na dvitve kartavye. So what it says is that you should have a pratyaya which is ajadi, and that pratyaya should be a dvitva nimittakaha. It should be one which can cause dvitvam. If you have that, then don't do any ajadeshaha if the duplication is pending. So what do we have? We have the we have ni plus atus. So this atus is ajadi pratyaya. It is also the one which is causing duplication because the liti dhaturanabhyasasya. So 618 say liti dhaturanabhyasasya. So this lit pratyaya is causing duplication. So this has to be ajadi pratyaya dvitva nimittakaha, which is causing duplication. If that is the case, then do not do an achadesha over here, like the yan sandhi, if dvitve kartavye. So that tells us that we should do the abhyasa first. I'll put the number here. So by the 1159, we should do duplication first and not the yan sandhi. Do duplication first. Because actually, if you look at the order of sutras, the equivalency number is 6177, right? While the liti dharana abhyasa says 618. Liti dharana abhyasa says 618. So actually, equivalency is a parakaryam. So one could have argued I should do equivalency first and not the dvitvam, because liti dharana abhyasa says 618 is a prior rule. But 1159 solved the problem first. Okay, so now let's do duplication and do the ni atus. And in the abhyasa karyam we've done it many times. You have to go to 7.4, around 59 onwards. They tell you all the special thing which happens in the abhyasa bhaga. And there is sutra which you have seen already before. It says rasvaha. Is that in the abhyasa, the I'm sorry, there's something wrong here. The ach becomes rasvaha. So that explains how this ni has become into a rasva ikaraha. So ni. Okay. All right. So that I'll put the number here. I think 6459, maybe 60. So that's what is happening there. So now now the question comes of sandhis. Now let's look at those. This is really why I started this whole thing. Is to look at, so 7.4, this abhyasa karyani, it starts from 7.458, atsalopa abhyasasya, and 7.459 says rasvaha. So we'll put that 7.459 here. So made the rasvaha. Now the sandhi rules. Between this ikaraha of ni and the of atus, we can use equivalency. Equivalency doesn't have any conditions on it. Doesn't say it has to be a dhatu ikaraha, it has to be this and that, should be, doesn't say anything. It's a varna niyamaha. It depends only on the ik and the ach being there in samhitayam, and within a padam, samhita is nityam. So we cannot break samhita within a word, so to speak. So that so there's no choice here of not having samhita and all that. So that 6172 samhitayam is holding. So first step for sandhi will be first stop. So first stop is 6177. So for but now, and that will get the job done for us, because what is the final form? 6177. I'm sorry. Final form is ninyatuhu. In the shloka we have the form ninyatuhu. So actually that 6177 will do the job for us, because yan sandhi is what we want. This again highlights the point is, when do we stop applying rules? Or Vasu's hand, maybe at your typo. Yes, Vasu. Vasu? Okay, his hand was up. Okay, I'll leave him unmuted, maybe he'll come back. Okay. So that one will do the job for us. But the question is not, we just don't stop applying sutra because we got the right form. This is a computer program. I keep telling you, this Ashtadhyayi is a 4,000-line computer program. The program is just not going to stop just because you got what you want. So it's going to run the entire program. And what happens now is that we have this sutram, but 6477 says that Achishtu dhatu brahvam yuor iyang yuvangau. So if this is a dhatu's ikara or dhatu's ukara, then the yan sandhi, all sandhis are stopped and becomes, and if an ach follows, that e becomes iya and u becomes uva. So now we are stuck with the iya form. So, but by 6477, that e of ni would have become the e of that ni would become iya, means short e, iya. So we have what we have had from niniyatuhu, which is the wrong form. So now the I'm sorry, there's something wrong here. The e of ni. Okay, so that's what would have happened. So 6477 is now creating a problem for us. We want 6170. We want the yan to come in that place. But 64 is very important rule. Please remember this rule 6477. This will be the rule for this class. 6477. Ashishtu dhatu brahvam yuor iyang uvangau. One time I was talking to the Swamiji in the Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, Tattvavidananda Swamiji, and I asked him, if he studied this Ashtadhyayi Vyakaranam. He said, yes, I remember studying up to this sutram, each Ashinu Dhatu Brahvam. He told me, I studied up to the sutram Ashinu Dhatu Brahvam. So this was a very famous sutram. He also knows that. So this sutram is you're going to see it many, many, many times. This Achishnu Dhatu Brahvam, yuor. Yuor means I varna, u varna yoho, yuor. Iyang uvangau, yatha sankham. The iyang and uvang is the adesha. Again, the ending na is a it by halantyam. That's for applying 1153 nicha. So that is the yang uvang. So we are in angasya dikaraha. So any anga ending in e or u, e varna, u varna is followed by an ach. If it's a dhatu's ikaraha or ukaraha, it will become iya and uva respectively. Vasu's hand up again. Vasu? I guess his mic is not working. His hand is up. Let me see. I think Vasu, you can type something on the chat window maybe, because I'm not able to unmute you. So but I see your hand is up, but for some reason your mic is not working. Okay, so now that you have a problem. Okay, but then luckily for us, below that in the 6482 finally saved the day for us. What does it say? Ehe anekachaha asanyuga purvasya. If you have a Ehe means E varnasya, E varnanta sangasya. So Ehe is the shashti of E, like Harehe. So in 6482, that Ehe is the shashti ekvachanam of the E. So E is like Harehe, becomes Hari becomes Harehe. So the shashti of E is Ehe. So Ehe anekachaha should be anekachanga, which we do have. Because the anga, the angam for us is the entire nini. This is the entire angam. Because you take the entire left hand side, yasmat pratyaya vidhi. So this one is the entire angam. So yasmat pratyaya vidhi. So this entire thing was duplicated. So the anga is nini. It's anekachangaha. It is ending in the e varnaha, and there is no sanyoga. There is no sanyoga here in the prior to the e. So when all that is satisfied, this 6482 says that this one, you go back to you make the yan sandhi. You made the yan adesha. Not go back, you just say do yan adesha. So basically 6482 stops 6477. We get the yan adesha, and so we get the form ninyatuho. So again, one more time. Iku and achi was coming. But then came 6477, which is the most important rule for you to remember. Achishtu dhatu brahvam yor yang vangau. But finally came 6482. We say that if you have that E-Varnanta Anga, Anekachanga, no Sanyoga prior to the E, then do the Yan Sandhi. This is only for E Varna only. 6482 is only for the E Varna. The 6477 was for E Varna and U Varna. So 6482 finally gets us the form. So by 6482, we get the Yannadeshaha. So by, 6482. So that's why I did this in detail to just refresh your memory about 6477 and 6482. We get Yan substitution.
I think Vasu's mic is working now.
Okay. Vasu, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yes, you had a comment before because I was trying to unmute you, but okay.
Yeah, now I'm getting better. It's more than a typo. I don't understand this ni plus atus 7459, and the first ni only becomes the hrsva.
Because it's only the abhyasa bhaga.
Only the abhyasa bhaga is
the
affected.
7459 only says abhyasasya.
Oh.
So only abhyasa bhaga, only this entire section of 74, that's 58 onwards, only says anuvritti of abhyasasya is coming down. So it will only apply to this abhyasa bhaga only. Purva abhyasa, sutram purva abhyasa. So only the prior bhaga only will take that, all those rules. So that's the reason why only that became rasva. Okay, so that's good. So now
Satishi,
yeah.
I had a question there. Okay,
Yes.
this yasmat pratyavidi tadadi pratyayangam. So
Yes.
yaf pratyaya yasmat kriyate. So that pratyaya happens to the knee, right?
Happens to the knee, correct.
So tadadi shabda swarupam. So that means we need something else probably to make that other as part of the anga.
No, but the knee was duplicated. So this is just an expanded form of the same knee. This nini which we have done, right? So this is the duplicate. It kind of the see what Kalpesh is saying is that let's go to sutrams because so yasmar pratyay vidhi, that one. What's the number, Kalpesh?
1413.
1413 is it? 1413. Okay, let's look at the vritti for that one. Okay, 1413. So what it basically says is that when you do a pratyaya, you know, for some term, so the term, then starting from that term up to the pratyaya is the angam for that pratyaya. So let's look at the vritti. 1413 is, okay, thank you. Yasmar pratyaya vidhi. Let's look at the siddhanta. Yaha pratyaya yasmat kriyate. So which pratyaya is done for which item, which element? Tadadi shabda sarupam. So starting from that item to which the pratyaya was ordained, up to this pratyaya is the angam for this pratyaya. Tasmin angam syat. So the angam is a relative term. It's a relative. It's not an absolute term. It's relative to the pratyaya. So each pratyaya will have an angam. Without pratyaya is no angam. So angam is only related to pratyaya because this sutram says yasma pratyaya vidhi. So you have to ask the question, what is the term that took this pratyaya? And then start from that term and up to the pratyaya itself, that becomes the angam. And the example that they give is that, which I should maybe an example will clarify this doubt. So 1413 defines, we'll put the document like that 1413 defines the term angam, defines angam. And so now I'll tell you what Kalpesh is asking, and I think what the answer is angam. And so let's take an example. When you take the dhatu bhu, okay, so bhu plus, when you do the lat lakaraha, you take bhu plus lat, and then you go to the tip plus g and make it into the tip pratyaha. So the lat was done for the bhu. So for the lat, the angam is bhu, and when we bring in the tip substitution, then for the tip also the anga used to start from bhu and go up to tip. The angam right now only is bhu. But then what happens? You get the kartari shap. By the 3168, you get the shap pratyaya which comes in between here now. So now, and this is where we can illustrate the point, is when we have bhu plus shap plus tip. Now, the angam for the shap is only bhu, but the angam for the tip is bhu plus shap. So the tip was prescribed for the bhu. So you start from bhu and go up to the pratyaya. So the angam for tip is bhu plus shap, and the angam for shap is only bhu. So the angam. So that's what I'm saying, is that when you want to decide what is the angam for the tip, you start from bhu. That's because the tip was prescribed to come after bhu. So you have to start from the bhu and come up to tip to decide the angam for tip. It's a relative term. So relative to tip, the angam is bhu plus shap. To tip, okay. The angam is bhu plus shap, and that's the important point. Not only the bhu. Start from bhu, and then come up to the. So now let's see what Kalpesh is saying. What is the angam is bhu plus shap. Okay. Now, in our case, then let's use the same logic. In our case, we had ni plus atus. Okay. So atus was prescribed for after ni was lat and lit became lasya and became tas, and tas became atus. So now still atus has been prescribed for the ni. You start from the ni and up to the atus angam for atus. Now why is this important? Because remember is that we need an anek ach angam. To apply 6482, we have to have an angam which is anek ach. Then only 6482 can be applied. So we have to be sure that our angam is this entire ni plus ni, and not only this ni. But now, how do we get that? Because we prescribed atus for the ni is still here. How come this abhyasa is also being included in that? I think the answer to that is that this abhyasa was not like a new term coming in. This dhatu itself duplicated in place. It expanded itself. This dhatu ni has an expanded form of ni plus ni. So nini is the expanded form of the same dhatu. It's not like a new term that is coming, So even though we have to, when we say start from ni, we have to now take the expanded form, the nini, and go up to atus. So that's how this is still. It is a aneka changam for the atus. Because if you look at the sutram wise, it is ekacho dve prathamasya. So that the prathama ekacha bhaga becomes duplicated in place. So it just expands itself. So that's how the so ekacho dve prathamasya, that that prathama bhaga expands and becomes double. So double, that whole entire double is still regarded as the ni itself, which was there before. Okay. So anyway, so 6482, I think that's the way to justify that. So 6482 is brought us back, and we got ninyatuhu. So one more time, iko was yan praptaha, then tatpaschat 6477 yang adesha praptaha, and finally iranekacho sanyoga purvasya gets the yan sandhi. So we get ninyatuhu. The most important of these is 6477. 6477. Achishnu dhatu bhavam yor yengu vangao. Okay, so let's go back to the shloka. So we got the dhatu now. And who's the karta? We want a dvivachana karta. It's going to be the tau. Tau again from the story Sandarbhat Rama Lakshmanau. Tau Rama Lakshmanau ninyatuhu. The two of them led. Now what did they lead? Look at the commentary down here. It says nayatihi dvikarmakaha. Dvikarmaka dhatu. There are 16 dhatus in this language. I think we went through it before. There are 16 dhatus which can take, and their synonyms, can take two objects. Can take two objects. For example, I said this to him. So this to him, so I said this to him. So this and him are both objects of I said. So dhatu bru is one of them. So bru is one of them. They say Balakaha Gam Gramam Nayati. The boy takes the cow to the village is one of them. There are many. There are 12 plus 4. Why 12 plus 4? In the passive, there are different implications. But let's not worry about it. Right now we don't have passive. Very easy for us. Ni is in the section of 4 dhatus. So which also, the bru is in the section of 12. It's 12 plus 4. The Pani Sutram is a very cryptic sutram, akatitam cha. Akatitam cha. So when the Vakta does not want to use this second vibhakti, then he can put that second vibhakti, he can use dvitiya instead of, he can make the karma sanya. So he takes the karma sanya according to the wish of the speaker, but only for these 16 dhatus, 12 plus 4 dhatus. So I think it's number 1450, akatitam cha. So in the karma, when point define what is karma, akatitam cha is 1451. By 1451, the ni is the karma ka dhatu. So we'll put this in the document. And then so that is what Malinatha is saying, is that ni is a vikarma ka dhatu. Why is he telling us that? Because obviously we must have so 1451, by 1451, even though Pani doesn't list out these, Patanjali does that and he tells us only these 16, 12 plus 4 and synonyms will make into, so ni can take two objects, Okay, so now what do we have in our shloka? Which two objects do we have now? Let's see. It says one is dhanushi. They took their bows. The two bows. So it is dhanush is pradipadikam. We have dhanuho, dhanushi, dhanushi. So dhanushi is the neuter dual form. And then the second object is adhijyatam. This is also which I think mentioned in one of the prior classes. In this language, we can take somebody to a certain state. In Gita, right? Klebyam masvagam of Partha. Second shloka of the second adhyaya. Klebyam, so don't go to impotency. You will not say this in English at all. You will not say don't go to impotency. If you don't be impotent is what you would say. But here we can take something to a certain state. Like so, so they took their bows, the two bows, to the state of being strung. That this tam is a state. We're going to go through all that. But this tam, like gurutam, laghutam, heaviness, lightness, mudhatam. So this tam is this ta is a tadisa pratyaya, mitasya bhavaha, the state of that. So the state of, so the two of Rama Lakshmana took their two bows to the state of being strung. Means they strung their two bows. Basically simply means that. So you have two objects. Now which is the primary object? Which is the secondary object? And the answer to that is that that which can take another vibhakti, that is secondary object. So now, which one here can take another vibhakti? Can Dhanushi take another vibhakti? Well, it cannot, because they took their two bows. Just like take the example, of that Balakaha. It says Dhenum Gramam Nayati. Right? So the boy takes the cow to the village. The village could have taken another vibhakti. Could have said Balakaha Dhenum Grame Nayati. He takes it into the village. So this adhijyatam is the secondary, is the gauna karma, and the dhanushi the pradhana karma. Anyway, right now all he's saying is that the commentary is making, and as I said, our job is to understand what Malinatha is saying. So he's saying ninyatuhu nitav. Don't even look at the shloka. Just look at down here what he's saying. Nitavantau. They took. The two of them took. And nayatihi. See, nayatihi means the dhatu ni becomes nayati. So nayatihi means the dhatu ni only. Nayatihi dvikarmakaha is all he's saying. So we're going to have two karmas coming here now. Okay. Now let's try to follow the commentary. It's Atra Ramayana Vachanam. In Ramayanam there is this Vachanam which says Agastyaha Paramakruddhaha. This is easy shloka. So Agastyaha, who was extremely angry, Agastyaha Paramakruddhaha Tadakam Abhishaptavan. He cursed this Tadaka. What did he say? Purushadi Mahayakshi Vikrita Vikritanana Idam Rupam Apahaya Darunam Rupam Astute. So, first of all, you will become Purushadi. Purushan Atti iti Purushadi. So this is the Karmanyan Upada Samasaha. So you will become an eater of men, become a cannibal, eater of men. Mahayakshi. So Yaksha are these, spirits, I guess, goblins. So Mahayakshi. And Vikrita, you'll be deformed. And Vikritanana. So your face will be deformed. Idam Rupam Apahaya. So giving up this form of yours. Dhatu ha is to give up. So apahaya. Daruna rupam astute. So let you take a very terrible form. So let your form become very terrible. So that's the quotation from the Ramayanam that he's giving, just to give us the context. And how did she become deformed? Because the sage Agastya cursed her to become this Mahayakshi, this I guess evil spirit, which is going to be, and she's going to be eating humans and be deformed with a deformed face. So that's what this context is telling you. I'm just checking one thing from my other book here. We're expecting the form apahaya become apahaya. Let me just check if that is correct. Shloka number 14. Because this other book I have has less typos in it. So, idam rupam apahaya. Okay, fine. Apahaya is fine. So that's the quotation. Then he says, tad etad aha. That is what is being told here. Tad etad aha. So the author now tells us that same thing the Ramayana shloka is saying. What does it say? Vidita shapaya iti. So now this Suketu was her father's name, Suketu. Suketu Sutaya, and this is because this Khili Krita is a passive form. We're going to see that in detail. This Khili Krita is a passive form. This Krita is a passive form. So you can say Tadakaya, Suketu Sutaya, Kaushika Vidita Shapaya, Khili Krite, Pati. This Khili Krite is qualifying Pati. Khili Krite is a passive form, so this doer is gone to the passive. So on the road, on the way, Pati means on the way. Comes in Bhagavad Gita, right? 6th Adhyaya. So it says, Vayati Shraddhayo Peto Yogachrita Manasaha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhing Kankating Krishna Gacchati Kachinno Bhaya Vibhrashtas Chinna Brahmavanashyati Chinna Brahmavanashyati Vimuda Mahavaho. It's just coming. I missed. Hold on, let me go to Stoka here. Okay, 6th Adhyaya. Vimuda Brahmanaspati, that's the one. Kachinno Bhaya Vibhrashtas Chinna Kachinno Bhaya Vibhrashtas Chinna Brahmavanashyati. Let's see. Vimuda Brahmanaspati. We come towards the end of the 6th Adhyaya of the Gita. When Arjuna asked the questions, here it is. Apatishta Mahabaho. Vimuda Brahmanaspati, that's the one. So Pati. So Pati is actually the Saptami Ekavachanam of Pathin Pratibadikam. Pathin Pratibadikam. I think we saw this last time. I'll give you a sutra number. I think it's 7.1. There are 3-4 rules which apply only to 3 Pratibadikams. The Pathin, Mathin, and Rukshan. And so that one is, one of the says, Bhasyater Lopaha. Bhasyater Lopaha. So when you have the Bhasanya for Pathin, okay, the T Lopaha takes place. That in is lost and becomes Pati. Pati Saptami Ekavachanam. So here it is. This 7185, Pati Mati Rubuksham At. Itot Sarvanamasthane Thontaha Bhasyater Lopaha. So by 7188, when that Pathin plus Ni is what we had, put in the document maybe. So Patishto Mahabaho, Vimudo Brahmanaspati. So let's put that here. So we had Pathin plus the Saptami Ekavachanam Pratyaha, which is going to be Ni. And then first of all you have to use 1418 to get the Bhas and Yachibham. You must have heard this many times from me already. You're going to hear it another 1,000 times from me. Yachibham. Yachibham means Swadeshu Sarvanama Sthane Yachi. So if you have a pratyaya which is Swadi, so Su just amount all the way up to the end of 5th Adhyaya. It includes those 21 pratyayas, all the 3 pratyayas and all the tadhitas. From 412 to the end of the 5th chapter, all those pratyayas when they come, if they begin with a yakara or an ach, then the anga gets bhasanya. The moment you get the bhasanya, you have to then go to the section from normally you go to section from 64129, which is the bhasya adhikara. That's the if-then statement. Right? So if bha then. So normally you would go to you would check we would check from 64159 to end of 64. But this particular one from 64129 to end of 64, because that is the bhasya adhikara. That is the routine which runs whenever you get the bhasanya to end of 6.4. But as it turns out, this rule is not in that section. Why is it not in the section? The anuvritti is available to Panini. So he doesn't want to repeat these 3 terms again in the bhasya adhikara. So for pathin, mathin, ruvukshan, there he doesn't want to again repeat these terms in the bhasya adhikara. So anuvritti is used judiciously, and we get the bhasya ted lopa. So this bhasya is outside of that bhasya adhikara. So the bhasya ted lopa. Just like we have the abhyase charcha, the 8.450 is abhyasa karyam, which is outside of the 7.4 adhikara. Anuvritti of jalam and jas is available there. So this is another example of like that, where Panini puts a sutram outside the adhikara, because anuvrittis are available and the economy is very, very great. Okay. So this is a tough one to find, because normally you only check from 64129 to end of 6 for the bhasya adhikara. But this one is a difficult one to find, because this is a bha vidha, so bha sambandhi karyam, which is not in the 7.4. Okay. So 7188 will do the T lopaha, achoantyadi T. So the ending in will be lost. So by 7188, but here we have to apply 7188 applies to remove the T bhaga, to remove the T which is the T, and the T in our case which is in. Okay, so that's how we got the word pathin. That pathiya, sorry, I should say, the pathi is qualified by khili krite. That khili krite, that the word krita is a passive form. So now you see how one thing tags, this is tagging on to another and tagging. See how this whole shloka expands. Is simple sentence was only tau ninyatuhu. Then kutu ninyatuhu, kutra, where did they take it? Is pathi, on the way. What kind of way was it? Is khili krite. Khila means that in fact he gives down. What's khili krite pathi? Look, he's giving it down here. Khili krite pathi. So that tells you this khili krite is adjectival to pathi, because he has given in that sequence he has given us to you. And then what does khili krite mean? Is khilam aprahatam sthanam iti halayudaha. What is halayudaha? Halayuda is one of the dictionaries of Sanskrit, like the lexicons, Shabda Kosha. So these halayudaha, Vishwaha, Medini, of course Amar Kosha, I think most of you know. These are all dictionaries which gives the various meanings and synonyms of these, special meanings of these words. And there in Halayudaha Koshaha. Well, this is available. This Halayudaha I got from the Ashtavidya Gurukulam. I have it at home. Halayudaha. Some of them are not available that easily anymore. This Medini and the other one, the Vishwa, I don't have those, but Halayudaha I do have. At least it was available at the Ashtavidya Gurukulam. It's a nice small book. If you can get it from there. Anyway, Halayudaha says, Khilam apratahatam sthanam. See, khila can also be remainder, akhila, so which or supplement, remainder, For example, the Raghuvamsham is called the khila bhaga of Mahabharata, called Raghuvamsham. So Raghuvamsham, like an appendix or the addendum to Mahabharata, is called Raghuvamsham, called khila bhaga. So khila means like supplement. But here it is not the meaning. That's why he's quoting Halayudaha, because he wants to give you a special meaning of the word khila. Otherwise, we don't need to quote from Halayadhar or any of place like that. So, khilam aprahatam sthanam. Aprahatam is untrodden. Hata is to hit, aprahatam is untrodden. The untrodden way is called khilam. So it is a road or a path which is not trodden, which is not being, people don't travel on that. So this place was made untrodden, khili krite, and by her. So by this suketu sutaya, tadakaya, and then she has an adjective to her. So this is how this whole thing tags on. So first we had pati. The pati was qualified by khili krite. We're going to see how khili krite came in a second. Khili krite. The krita was a passive form. The karta became suketu sutaya krite. Now she had an adjective now. Adjective to her is the vidita shapaya, whose curse was known. Viditam is known. Vidita is a Bahuvari compound. So whose curse was known. And then to that vidita is coming the kaushikat. It's a kaushika vidita. This is how this whole thing, adds on. So whose curse was known to them from Vishwamitra. So from Vishwamitra's narration, from him, they knew about her curse, which is what is quoted from the Ramayana, the curse from Agastya Muni. They knew about her. So that's how this sequence is. So they strung their two bows on the path which was made untrodden, which was basically vacated by her, who was the daughter of Suketu, and whose curse was known to them from Vishwamitra. So that is the meaning. So let's look at some more grammar here. Let's see. Okay, so vidita shapaya iti. So bahuvrihi. Look at this trademark of bahuvrihi I told you many times. This nishtha pratyaha is the pura padam. The pura padam, when it comes nishtha, that is one of the trademarks of the bahuvrihi. But you have to be careful now. Even karmadharyas could have that. So let's take this example right here. So vidita shapaha could have been a karmadharya compound. The known curse. But look at the ending. Vidita shapaya. Linga parivartanam drishyate. This word shapaha is Ramava Shabda. It should go Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. It should be Ramena. It became Shapaya. So this Shapaha, this word has given up its own gender and taken up a new gender. That can only happen when you have a Bahuvrihi compound. Like in Gita, right? Chita Prajnasya ka bhasha. The Prajna is a feminine word. Chita Prajnasya ka bhasha. So Prajnasya, it becomes Ramavat. It has changed its gender. 6th adhyaya, first shloka, right? Shri Bhagavan uvacha anashitah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragni na chakriyaha akriyaha. The word kriya is now only a feminine noun. It becomes akriyaha, Ramavat. Again a Bahuvri compound. So when you see a change of gender on this ending member over here, you can almost close your eyes and say this is a Bahuvri compound. Very, very important. Then again, you can show that Shapaha will never become Shapaya. It becomes Shapena. So that is a Bahuvri compound. And he doesn't give any commentary because, this should be known to us. Viditam asmapi viditam is known to us, is known by us. So viditaha, Shapaha, yasyaha sa. So one whose curse was known. And so no commentary on that because it's a Bahuvri compound which is should be known to us by this time. And then he say, but he does give one commentary below, Kaushikat. The Kaushikat is a Panchami. So now in what meaning has this Panchami been used? Right? To refresh your memory, when you want to assign any Vibhakti ending, you have to find some sutram in 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi to justify the Vibhakti ending. You cannot bring in any Vibhakti su, those 21 endings su out just, the declension, what in English we call declension endings. You cannot use any of them until you know by what rule in 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi does Panini allow the use of that ending in what meaning. Okay. But that 2.3 uses these karaka sanyas, which is like karma, karana, the apadana, the sampradana, apadana, and all that. And they are defined in 1.4 in the karaki adhikara. So in the karaki adhikara 1.4, let's go there for 1 second. Panini only defines these karma labels, these karaka labels. Doesn't assign vibhaktis. Vibhaktis are only assigned in 2.3, but they will depend on these karaka sanya which are coming in 1.4, or they will be assigned directly. So one is called the karaka vibhakti, and one is called the upapada vibhakti. When you say like Namah Shivaya, when you say Namah Shivaya, Chaturthi vibhakti came, but that didn't depend on any karaka. It was just because Namaha was there, we said Shivaya. So that is called the upapada vibhakti, while others are called the karaka vibhaktis, and when they conflict, the karaka vibhakti will overrule. So here we have the adhikara called karake. I think it's 23, yeah, karake. From 23 starts the karake. So in that section, we have to define the karaka labels, and then in 2.3, we have to Panini assigns the vibhaktis. So now what does Mallinatha say? Okay, so this is a background for you. What he says is that is akhya kaushikad akhyatuhu. So kaushikad is clearly like Ramat. It's the Panchami Eka Vachanam of Kaushika Shabdaha. And we already seen the etymology of that. The Kushika was a rishi, and this Kaushikaha is his, his grandson. This is Kaushikaha. Because he was son of Gadhi, and Gadhi was son of Kushika. So Kaushikaha is his grandson of Kushika. So anyway, Kaushikad Akhyatuhu. So Akhya, A plus Kya. So Kya is to narrate. So Akhyatuhu is a narrator. So Akhyatuhu is also the Panchami Vibhakti of the word Akhyatr. The Prajapatikam Akhyatr, the narrator. When you decline that and make it Panchami Ekavachan, we get Akhyatuhu. So Akhyatuhu is qualifying Kaushika. So from Kaushika, from Vishwamitra, who was the narrator or who was the teacher, and then he quotes a sutram, Akhyata upayoge iti apadanat panchami. So this, look at this also, iti apadanat panchami. So first you get the apadana sanya is given to this akhya, this akhyatru, or the akhyata, will get the apadana sanya. Let's go to 1429. And every sutram which Mallinatha gives, you should understand it clearly. Why is he giving that? What it means. 1429 is, and that sutram really says, when you have a teacher from whom you get knowledge, then you should say that I got the knowledge from him, and who was my regular teacher. In that case, we can use the apadana sanya for the 1429. Let's look at the vritti for that, 1429, Akhyat upayoge. Okay, so what it says, Akhyata upayoge. So apadanam. So the Akhyata, the narrator, the teacher, who's imparting knowledge, he gets the apadana sanya. And what does the vritti say? This sutram is not in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. As I mentioned to you a few times, Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi is really laghu when it comes to this Karaka Prakaranam. Unfortunately, it doesn't go in much detail, which is a shortcoming. But anyway, so we have to go to the Kashika. See, Akhyata is Pratipadayata, one who explains or narrates, or one who, teaches. Pratipadana means one who teaches. And Upayogaha, he says, Niyama Purvakam Vidya, this is a typo here, should be Vidya Grahanam. So means learning regularly from somebody, not once in a while, regularly. So Upayoge Sadhyecha. So when that is the case, then Akhyata Tatkarakam Apadana Sanyam Bhavati. So when regular knowledge is to be gained from somebody, then that teacher narrator gets the Apadana Sanya. And then once you get the Apadana Sanya, you get Panchami Apadane. You can go to 2.3 and then just assign the Panchami Bhakti to that. So let's see, Panchami will Chaturthi, so 2.3, we have to find a sutram which says the Apadane Panchami, Apadane Panchami. So 2.3.28. So by 1.4.29 and 2.3.28, finally, as I mentioned to you, you have to end up in 2.3. So 1.4.29, we got the Apadana Sanya, and then we went to the what is the number again? It was 2.3. 2.3.28 Apadane Panchami, 2.3.28. Finally, you have to, so that's how you get the Panchami Bhakti for the Vishwamitra. So it gives us the Panchami. Okay, so that's his one comment on that. Because normally Panchami is Apadane, which is like a separation. We don't have separation over here, We don't have separation. That's why he had to give a special sutram. Okay, let me see. What's the question? Yes, Vasu, can you hear me?
Manji,
Yes.
My question is, if Apadana is not used, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. If Apadana, the other alternative could be instrumental, is that what you mean?
Let's see. What is the, let's look at the shloka. It's a good
Kaushikena would have been...
Kaushikena it'll be known by Kaushika then.
Kaushikena...
See, because this is qualifying Vidita. It's also an example where this Kaushikad is really applying to only a part of the samasa, which is Vidita, not the Shapaha. So really Kaushika should have been in the samasa itself. So Kaushikad Vidita. So known from Kaushika. That's all. Or learned from, understood from Kaushika.
So when you are saying Panchami is the ordained usage here,
yes.
What could have been the alternative? In English, we would have said as explained by Kaushika.
So no, known. See, Vidita is known.
Yeah.
If you say known by Kaushika, then only Kaushika knows. Rama Lakshmana don't know then.
Oh, okay.
So here it means that her curse was known to Rama and Lakshmana, from Kaushika. So if you make it Kaushiki and Vidita, then it will be known by him, not by the two of them.
My question is, when you explained the sutras,
yes,
which specifies it has to be Panchami,
yes,
and here the Vyakhyana Karta also takes the trouble to put it down.
Right.
Is there
because I think that the reason it's taking trouble is that because other Panchami rules won't work well over here.
Oh,
let's look at them. Let's look at them for quickly. Now that we got this point out. That is why we have to justify the Panchami. That's what he's doing for us.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's doing for us. Because let's go there for a second. So one that we looked at right now is 1.4.29. Because the Panchami, if you look at is first of all, if you look at the Apadana Sanya, it's a Dhruvam Apaye Apadanam. When there is a certain separation, fixed separation takes place. We don't have separation over here. It's not that they're being separated from Kaushika. No. The next sutram says Bhitrarthanam Bhaya Hetuhu. We're talking about either fear from or protection from. We don't have that. Then Parajehe, when you get disgusted with something or something. So when you had enough with something. We don't have that either. Then when you want to ward off something, that's 27. We don't have that here also. Then when somebody is becoming invisible, we don't have that either. So now when something is being born from something, so these other rules will not work for Apadanam. Okay. So only this 29 is the one that can be used. So what Mulinath is telling us is that this Panchami is coming from 1.4.29. The other ones will not work very well. Will not work. None of them will fit. So how do you justify Panchami is the question. If you could also check out this 2.3 and maybe can we get an Upapada Vibhakti? It also will be very hard to do. There will not be anything there also to help us out. See, Apadane Panchami. Then he gives the specific words, Anya, Arad, Ityadi. So we don't have any of those. Then another specific pratyaya, Enapa. In Pruthak Vina Nana, we don't have that. And in Karane, we don't have that. So none of these will also work, So that's why, that's the abhipraya of the Tikakara.
Okay. Thank you. I think I understand it now, because I thought he is distinguishing from other kind of Karaka use.
No, the Panchami only has to be used here. But how, by what sutram is what he's saying,
Okay, thank you.
Because Apadanam we don't have. We don't have a separation going on here. So then we have to fit it in and another famous use of Panchami is Hetau, on account of. That could have been another way out, by the way. If you really had to, if this sutram wasn't there, maybe Hetau, due to. So whose curse was known due to Vishwamitra. But he's telling us don't use the Hetau. Because Hetau also Panchami can be used. Because see, Panchami is when we had Hetau, it says the Vibhasha Gune Striyam. So 2325, maybe you could say Hetau. It's possible. But, if it's a Gunavach, even there also probably not. It should be a Gunam. That also won't work because that has to be some quality. Vishwamitra is not a quality. So even that won't work. So that's basically why he's taking this route, He's telling us.
Satishji.
Yes.
Just continuing further on Vasuji's question.
Yes.
So if at all Akhyata Upyoga is there, is Panchami to be used or not? Compulsion. Is that true, or we can always say Vivakshata Karakani Bhavanti?
So what are the vibhakti can we use,
In that case, we can only use Panchami, right?
I think Panchami only has, because this is Nitya Karyam, right?
Okay.
So I think not much. When you say I got knowledge from him,
right?
That that the Akhyata has to take Pancham, the Apadanam only, I think,
But Heto, for example, you could have used Tritiya also, right? No?
But Hetu only Gune, right? Vibhasha, Gune. Yeah. I guess, but actually you're right, because there's Vibhasha, Akritri Rene Panchami. So let's look at these two maybe. So this really requires some kind of a quality, So this 2325, it generally requires a quality. So if the Hetu is not a quality, Gunavachika Shabda, it's going to be difficult to have Panchami there also. We say Modhyat, so Modhyat is this Guna is involved. So we can use Panchami. Otherwise, Tritiya should be used for Hetau. See, normally Hetau is Tritiya Vibhakti. Only if it's a Gunavachaka Shabda and is not a feminine word, then only Panchami can be used optionally. It will be hard to justify that because the Vishwamitra is not going to be a Gunavachaka Shabda. So that also will be hard to use one here. So anyway, for all these reasons is what he has given us as Sutram 1429. Because normally he will not bother to give us a sutram unless we have some problem. Okay, if the usual easy ones work, then we don't need for him to give us this sutram. So this is a special usage. When you gain knowledge from somebody on a regular basis, then that is to be used as the Panchami, Apadana Sanya. Okay, so the next one we are talking about is he's saying Suketu Sutaya, no commentary. Why no commentary? Because it's a very easy Shashitut Purushaha. So, Suketoho Suta, daughter of Suketu. So, when you have a Shashitut Purushaha, I can almost guarantee you there will be no commentary because it will be very easy for us and we can easily deal with that. Now, the next difficult word is Khili Krite. Khili Krite. So, this Khili actually is a Tadita. Tadita is Tadita Prayogaha. So, let's look at it for 1 second. And this is a relatively kind of not so common, but you say that you might like Spashtikaranam, Krishnikaranam, Vishadikaranam. So where do these words come from, So the sutram there is actually you have to go to this, Panini has this condition that when something doesn't have a state, and it is made to take that state. So when you say Khili Krite, means it was not Khilam before. It was made Khilam. So that which was not there was made that. When you say Krishni Karoti, means he makes it black. Means something which was not black is now being made black. So when that kind of a situation is, then he says use the pratyaya chvi on the condition that you will have to use the dhatu bhu, kru or as with that. Bru, I'm sorry, Bhu, Kru, or Us. So in 5.4, this is Sutram of Panini, where he gives this Abhuta Tadbhave. Abhuta Tadbhave, that is 5.450. There's also some Partha-Vedas. See, normally Ashtadhyayi, there are not many Partha-Vedas. But this one has a Partha-Veda. I think in Siddhanta Kaumudi, I think he only gives the sutram as Kru Bhu Asti Yoge Sampadya Kartari Chvihi. And then he gives the Vartikam as Abhuta Tadbhave. When this Kashika is taken all as one sutram, Abhuta Tadbhave. So when the state which was not there is now coming, Sampadya Kartari, when that is being, that is being created, then only if you have the guarantee you're going to use Kru, Bhu, or Us in any form, either in a verbal form or participle form, then the Pratyaya Chvi can be used. So here what we have is that the vakyam which they give is that is Akhilam Khilam Karoti. Akhilam Khilam Karoti is that which was not Khila is being made Khila. So we'll just put that here, the Vigraha Vakyam is Khili Karoti. So we'll put Akhilam. And again, Akhilam is not, normally the word Akhilam means everything, because Khila means remainder. And Akhila means, when you normally see the word Akhila, it really means total, Sakalam. But here Akhilam is not that meaning. That which was not barren is now made barren. So Akhilam, Khilam Karoti. Akhilam, Khilam Karoti. And we can, then that can be expressed by using this Tadyata form, and then using this Dhatu Kru is Khili Karoti. Khili Karoti. Okay. So we'll do this one time, and hopefully next time when we see Khili Karoti. Okay. Now what happens is that this Vikara Avastha which is there is the Khilam. It was not barren before. It is now been made barren. The state of barrenness is the new state. That new state takes the pratyaya with it, not the akhilam, but the khilam takes the pratyaya chvi. In the chvi pratyaya, what are the it letters? So what we have is we have the khila plus plus we have the pratyaya chvi. Now in chvi, that E is the upadesha jananasika it. Upadesha ajananasika it. So it's going to be an it letter. Then we get the chutu. So by using the using 132 upadesha ajananasika it, and then also by the chutu I think is 137, and then finally when we use the verapuktasya, only the va remains behind, because the e is an it, the cha is an it, only va is left behind. And when the va is left, aprukta va, when it is left behind, the aprukta va of vi is left behind, it also goes away. So vehe apruktasya. So vehe apruktasya, the 6167. So technically speaking, that va is not an it letter. It is just put there to basically, I think, to facilitate the pronunciation of the whole thing, make it chvi. So vera pruktasya, this, and also this can be grouped together. These V's, they can be grouped together for some operations sometime. So the 6167 says vera pruktasya. So that means that after removing all the other it letters, if only the va remains behind, the va belonging to the V, then it also goes away. It takes lopaha. So vera pruktasya. So after all of that, we get what's called is sarvapahara lopaha. Sarvapahara. So means the entire thing is gone. So the entire sarvapahara lopaha. The full pratyaya is gone. It becomes a zero. So, and in the meanwhile, what happens is that this entire thing, the khila plus plus chvi, has a pratipadika sanya because of krut tadhita samasascha. Krut tadhita samasascha. So the krudantas, the tadhitantas, and the samasas, they all get a Pradipadika Sanya. That's in 1.2, I think the sutram is Kritadita Samasascha. And then when we get a Pradipadika Sanya, Panini says that within a Pratipadikam, a sup cannot stay. A sup cannot stay within a Pratipadikam. Supo dhatu Pratipadikayo. And it's a lot of new rules for you, but as you get used to these new rules, we can hopefully retain them in memory slowly. In the beginning, they may not stick, but listen to them one time, then, as we use them over and over again, then we can retain them. So first sutram which we saw is the Krit Tadita Samasascha. So that is the 1 to 46. That entire thing, the Khila plus plus Chvi, got the Pratipadika Sanya. And then, so 1 to 46, and then comes the 2471, which says the Supo Dhatu Pratipadika Yoho Luk Syat, is if you have a Supratyaya, those 21 endings, Su or just all those, within a Dhatu or a Pratipadikam, it takes a Luk elision. So 1246 with 2471 put together. So I put this over here. Remove this. The is gone by that. So so 1246 along with the that's 1246 only gives us the Pratipadika Sanya, and then this is again the Panini style, because he defines the Sanya. Then the Vidhi comes and uses the Sanya to give us a Vidhi. The operation is done. So by these two rules, the is dropped. Takes a look elision. So the whole, so pratyasya luk shlu lupaha. So the entire, because no alontyasya. When you do luk, shlu or lup, the entire pratyaya is gone. Pratyasya luk shlu lupaha. Okay, I think I just say it takes look. Okay, that's fine. So it is dropped basically. It is dropped. Okay, so now we got only Khila is left behind. Khila is left behind. Now what happens is that now we have the condition that we have to use Kru, Bhu or As with that. So okay, so that this Chvi was only brought on that condition. Now, before we go there, there's one sutram which says Asya Chvau. Asya Chvau is if you have the Avarnanta Pradipadikam to which the Chvi has been applied, then that becomes a Ikara Adeshaha. Asya Chvau. Asya Chvau says that, so it is Alontyasya. That, see, so when you have Avarnanta Pradipadikam and followed by the Chvi, then that takes the Ikara Adeshaha. That's the Angakaryam. So Asya Chva. So now you see how these things interact, So 7432 is going to replace that of Khila to become Khili. So the sutram is 7432. 7432. See, each sutram individually is not that hard, So 7432 only says if you have the Avarnanta project, long or short. Asya is, because it can be the Savarna also included in that. So 7432 replaces the ending E, the ending A of Khila by and makes it into by long E. So it becomes long E. 7432. Let's look at it for a second. Asya Chvau. So I know this is slightly complicated, but this ending words are relatively not that uncommon. So we need to know how these words came from, like Spashtikaranam and all that. So this is a Spashtikaranam of Spashtikaranam. this is the Spashtikaranam of Spashtikaranam. So 7432 Asya Chvau. And the anuvritti of E is coming from the prior sutram. E gra dmoho. So Asya Chvau. Look at that word it says. This is a Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, so this is not that uncommon. He says the, I don't know why this sutram actually is in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. I don't know why this page doesn't have it. It should have had it. Anyway, so again, a lot of typos here. Avarnantasya angasya chauparataha Ikara adesho bhavati, shukli bhavati, shukli syat, khatvi kodi khatvi syat. So that's become khili. Now you have to use this. So we got the khili, and now we have to use some form of dhatu kru. Now there also is one more sutram we say that this chviyanta, this word khili now, which has the chvi came and it was completely removed, but still it's a chviyanta, and that khili, it gets the gati sanya, and they can be used before dhatus. Just like upasargas have gati sanya, this khili also has a gati sanya. And the gati, these are all defined in 1.4. The upasargas kriya yoge gaticha. And below that comes all the, so what I'm talking about is the paradayaha. This paradi, which normally are famous as upasargas, right? So para, sam, upa and all that. Upasargas kriya yoge. When they're kriya yoge, they call upasargas gatischa. So these paradayaha, they get the sanya upasargas when they're kriya yoge, in connection with a verb. With a verb, and then they call gatischa. Now why have two sanyas, upasarga and gati? Because gati is a bigger umbrella. This gati is a bigger umbrella. So gati includes not only the pradaya kriya yoga, but number of other terms. The next sutra, upasarga is only pradaya. Upasargas are only pradaya kriya yoga. They also are called gati, and gati can also includes other terms which are kriya yoga. And the very first sutram there is 1461, uryadi, there is a gana called uryadi. These are terms which can be also called gati. And chvi dachascha, this chvi is also in there. So this chvi gets the gati sanya by 1461, and then te prag dhatoho by 1480, they have to be used before the verb. So te prag dhatoho. So by 1461 and 1480, so 1461, you put like this, gets the gati sanya by 14. Well, this gati is also probably a pre-Paninian term. The gati sanya, I guess they go before a dhatu, that's why they call it gati probably. So the gati sanya comes, and gati sanya by what is it? 1461 was it? 61. And then 1480, they have to be used before a dhatu by 1461. And then by 1480, they have to be used, these gati sanyakas have to be used, it has to be used before the verb. So to be used. So we should not say like spashti, you should not say spashti karoti, you should not say karoti spashti. That should not be the usage. They have to be used te prag dhatoho. So we got khili, and now we can use any form of kru, who, or us. It can be a participle form, it can be a lakara form. In our case we have kru, and simply the nishtha pratyakta has been used. This is an anit dhatu, there is no idagamaha, and because the ta has ku as an it, there is no guna also, because of the kiniticha. So therefore khili krita, which was made vacant. Something which was not vacant before has been made vacant, or made untrodden. So that is the word khili krita. So let's just revise one more time. Now how do you recognize these forms? How do you recognize these forms? Now first of all, you have to have the dhatu kru, bhu, or us with that. Okay. Otherwise you don't have chvi. It can be either a participle form, it can also be a verbal, it can also be a lakara form. And then if you have the avarnanta pradipadikam, here it takes the long E, which is the most like bhasmi karoti, that bhasman, the nakara drops by the nulava pradipadikantasya, it becomes akara, bhasmi karanam, brahmi bhavati. So which was not Brahma became Brahma, which was not Bhasma became Bhasma. So if you see the long E by Asya Chvau and some form of Kru Bhu As following that, then you can probably guess it's going to be this Tadita Shvi has been used. And then, it became a Gati Sanyaka, and then it came Te Parag Dhato. So that would be the way of checking out these. Of course, this long E will only come when you have the avarnanta, but they are the more common ones. So that is the indication. So this long E followed by the kru bhu as. Then you can go to this, what we did today, is you can apply the chvi, remove it by the all those rules, chutu, upadesh ajuna nasikit, vera pruktasya. Remove the also by supo dhatu pradipatikayoho. Get the gati sanya by the uryadi, chi, chvi, dachascha. So that te parag dhatoho, and then make the, make the partial form only with kru, bhu, or as. So that was a difficult part in this shloka, I thought. I think many of you may not know because taditas, difficult thing taditas. So, but this is one of them. And he doesn't tell you on how it came because he expects you to know that. So, khili krite. He only tells us khilam aprahatam sthanam, that we got. Then tau rama lakshmano, I think it's kind of obvious we already did that. Then sthale, okay, now so that top part is over now. Now down here, the dhanushi has an adjective, which is the sthala niveshita artani, niveshitartani. Now let's look at the vigraha vakyam that he's giving us. Is sthale means on the ground, bhumau, on the ground. Niveshite. So what is the form niveshite? Dhatu is wish. Maya vishita chetasa, mayeva mana adatsa, may buddhin niveshaya. Nivasishyasi mayeva ata urzam na samshayaha, adhyaya 12. Maya vishita chetasam, maya vishita. What is the form veshita? Anybody in the class can tell me? Can you derive this form veshita for me, somebody in the class? Let me in the meanwhile pull up this Gita shloka. This form veshita comes in Gita. So it's probably made in Maya veshamano yemam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetas. So those who, I'm going to give you the answer now. Those who have made their mind to enter into me. So this is here is from Maya veshya. This is also the same, the causative of wish. Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's a causative of wish, become veshita. So a little bit below it comes here. The Mayeva mana adas so many buddhin, right below that, right above that shloka. Okay, Mayeva mana, okay, here it is. Yeah, Maya veshita, aveshita. This aveshita is Gita 12.7, aveshita. So for those who have made their mind enter into me, for them I quickly lift them up from the ocean of samsara. Okay, anyway. Okay, so that's aveshita comes in Gita. So what is the trick here is that the dhatu was wish. You look at the guna, the wish has taken guna. See, normally when you have this kta pratyaya, it will normally not do any guna. So kiniticha, that ka as an it is going to stop the guna by 115 kiniticha. Then how did wish become vesh? So, so like the word mohita, like dhatu muf becomes mohita. So one which has one who has been caused to be deluded. So mohita. Niveshita, which has been caused to enter. Niveshita. So what you have to first do is take the dhatu wish, add the pratyaya nich to that, and then make it dhatu veshi. Make it a causative, and then make it veshita. So let's quickly do that. So take the dhatu wish, and see, I'm sorry, one shloka takes a long time for us to do because, some of this grammar we are revising. So that's why it takes us a long time to do one shloka. So hopefully you'll bear with me. As we get better, we can skip some of these steps. So wish plus nich. And this one will of course do the puganta lagu patasya cha gunaha. So we can make it vesh. Veshi is a new dhatu. Dhatu is veshi. It is veshi. Then the nich pratyaha, so we I think it's 3122, I think is the nish. 3122 is it? Let me check it out. It's 3122 is the, no, it will be hetumaticha by 3123 maybe. 24, 31, because it is coming in 3.1. Hetumaticha is what you want. 3126, when you have a causative, when somebody is causing somebody to be hetumati. So 3126. So 3126, and then we do the Puganta Laghupatasya Gunaha by 7386. Now we have to make the participle from this. So we then take this Veshi and add the Pratyayakta. Now Veshi is an Anekach Dhatu because of the Sanadyanta Dhatavaha. This 3132 gives a Dhatu Sanya to all the derived Dhatus because they're not in the Dhatu Patha. Dhatu Patha only has Vish, not Veshi. But this Veshi also gets a Dhatu Sanya by 3132. And then we can, of course, bring in the Nishtha in the, make it the Ta. Now this is Anekash Dhatu is not in Dhatu Patha. So it is going to allow the Id Agama to become Veshi Ita. Now what should have happened here? We have, so we had this double E now. We have Veshi Ita. So of course we remove the it of the, make it Ita only, remove the Sanya, the Shakwata Dite. Now we need one E to go. That happens by Nishtayam Seti. Nishtayam Seti. Look at even a simple form like this, we require 3 or 4 sutras to desire that form, which is good because they can now be used over and over and over again. In the Angasya Adhikara, you have this section called Ardha Dhatuke. This Adhikara of Ardha Dhatuke comes in 2 places in Ashtadhyayi, one in 2.4, one in 6.4. That's why we want the one in 6.4, 6.446. And there we have Sutram Neraniti. Is Anirada Ardha Dhatuke pare ne lopasyat. If you have a niche, forward pratyaya which is Ardha Dhatukam, which is anit, then the ni takes lopaha. But we have a pratyaya which is set now. For the next sutram 6.452, Nishtayam Seti. Nishtayam Seti. Nishtayam Seti. If you have a set Nishtha pratyaya, then also nich takes lopaha. So by 6.452, then by 6.452, this the E of Veshi, the ending E, the niche, or actually just say niche drops. Just put it like that. Niche drops. The niche drops. So okay, so then we got Veshita. So that is the form. Again, no commentary by Malinatha because we are supposed to know all of this. So he doesn't give us any of this. So niche drops. So let's go back to here. Only going the Vigraha Vakyam. So Sthale Niveshite Atani. So it was those were the bows. Atani is a tip, whose tip had been made to enter into the ground. So they had taken their bows and kind of stuck them in the ground like that. This whole thing is qualifying Dhanushi. Now what is Atani? He describes that to us. Dhanuh Koti, Atani equals Dhanuh Koti. This is a bit confusing because see, within the Vigraha Vakyam, he is giving the Vritti also. So the Vigraha Vakyam only is Thale Niveshite Atani Yabhyam Tau. Yabhyam Tau. Tathok Tau. So that is, okay, now interesting thing now. Wait a minute now. Is the Atani qualifying Rama Lakshmana? Is it qualifying Dhanushi? Interesting thing now. Is the Sthala Niveshit Atani qualifying Rama Lakshmana? Is it qualifying the Dhanushi? It's actually qualifying Rama Lakshmana. Because even if declension wise, if you had the word Atani, and if you decline it neuter, accusative dual, it will be like Vari Shabda. It will become Varini. It will become Atanini. So this form clearly is like Harihi, Hari Harayaha. So this has become like Hari Shabda. This is not qualifying Dhanushi. So I take it back. I was wrong in saying this Dhanushi as a qualifier. This one is qualifying actually Rama Lakshmana. So because of Yabhyam Tau. So those were the two of them by whom the tips of the bows were made to enter into the ground. So Atani is Dhanuh Koti. Koti is also the tip. And he quotes Amar Koshaha is Kotihi Asya Atanihi. So that is the tip of the bow is called atani, 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 atani. So this is like hari. This is the prathama dvivachanam tau sthala niveshitatani. So if it had been a different kind of Bahuvri compound, this may have even qualified dhanushi, but of course the form is wrong. You will not get the form atani in the neuter, because vari goes like what? Vari, varini, varini. So, but hari goes like what? Harihi, hari, harayaha. So this is like the hari pratipadika. I mean hari shabda. So hari form, the rupam, hari rupam. So this is masculine nominative dual, qualifying Rama Lakshmana, decline like harihi, and it is a Bahuvrihi compound. Again, look at still the same thing. You see this nishtha pratyaha coming in as the pura padam. That is one of the trademarks of Bahuvrihi. So it's a Bahuvrihi trademark. The niveshita is the past participle form coming as the pura padam. Of course, this has another sthala is hanging on to that. That's okay. But still, the niveshita atani will fit our Bahuvrihi trademark. So they were two by whom the tips of the bows were made to enter and into the ground. That's the extra part over there. Okay, so now I think we are almost done. We have one more Bahuvrihi compound. Sorry for the delay. But Leelaya is no commentary. Leelaya eva, Leela is sport. Means by way of sport. By way of sport, means sportingly. Just by way of sport they made it Leelaya eva. So, and then last one is adhijyatam. This is like the word vidhava. Vidhava, right? When you say this word vidhava, what does it mean? Vigataha, dhavaha, yasyaha, someone whose husband does. Like this. So when you say like niraparadha, nirvivadaha, these are all words where you have one of these paradis in a Bahuvrihi compound. And there is some participle form which has been dropped over there. Niraparadha means one who's innocent. There's no aparadha. So nirgataha, aparadha, yasyasaha. So one whose aparadha has gone away. But that nirgataha, that word gata in between is understood. Same thing adhijja. The word ja is, there also he quotes from the Vishwa. Vishwa is another Shabda Koshaha. He says ja, the word ja has these meanings, which is what? Maurvi. Maurvi is the string of a bow. Maurvi. Then matra, it could also mean your mother. It could also mean bhumishu. So in these three meanings, the word ja is used. So this is how you expand your vocabulary. So that's why they give us these quotations from the Shabda Kosha, so we can start expanding our vocabulary. We had, in this shloka, we have three of them we have. So he told us khilam is aprahatam sthanam, special meaning, from halayadha. Then he quotes Amar Kosha, says kotihi asya atanihi. So atanihi is the tip of this bow. And then he says ja is maurvi matra bhumishu from Vishwaha. So this is what he's quoting from there. So the word ja can have three different meanings, but in this case clearly it means maurvyo. He already chose the meaning for us. He already given us over here. Okay. Here. And in the prior Bahuvri compound within the Vigraha Vakyam, sthale niveshite atani yabhyam tau, he gave a little vritti over here. Atani equals, put an equal to sign here. Atani equals, you can put a bracket over maybe. Atani equals dhanuh koti. Okay, tathok tau, who were such. So these two are qualified by that. Okay. Now, adhikrite je. So this krita has to be supplied here to make the Bahuvri complete. Adhikrite je. So this adhikrite je is the feminine nominative dual form, like lata. Lata, late, lataha, right? So this adhikrite, because ja is like a sita, lata was shabdaha. So the J form is a nominative dual form. So adhikrite is qualifying that. Adhikrite J, maurvyau, yayoho, te adhijye. So they were two bows whose string had been strung. Adhikrita means, actually here adhikrita can mean like authorized. But authorized means obviously in this case means strung. Before we go forward, let me give you the sutram quickly for this one which I'm talking about. In the Bahuvri compound, there are only as I mentioned to you before, when you talk about any compound, you have to find one sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 to authorize the compound formation. Remember that. Today we learn two things. If you want to assign any vibhakti ending, you have to find a sutram in 2.3 to authorize that. If you want to form a compound, you have to find one sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 which says you can make this compound. Okay. Now, the Bahuvri section is very small. It comes in the Shesho Bahuvri, and it takes only like 3-4 sutras are coming here. This from 2 to 23, and I think up to 2 to 28 only, I think. That's it. So only what? 6 rules. So if you want to form any Bahuvri compound, it's very easy. You have to come from 2 to 23 to 2 to 28. And the main one is Anekamanya Padarthe, so 2 to 24. And that has 3 or 4 Vartikams on that, which is what we are going to need. I know we're out of time, but I wanted to mention this, that this 2 to 23 to 28 is for Bahuvrihi compounds. So all of them are defined in this section, defined to 23 to 28 for Bahuvrihi compounds. Bahuvrihi compounds, Bahuvrihi. The word Bahuvri itself is Bahuvrihi. Someone who has a lot of vrihi means rice. Someone who has a lot of rice. Okay, so now let's go to 2 to 24, Anekamanya Padarthe, and that has this Vartikam, which is going to tell us that we can use one of these pradis and drop that participle form when it's understood and make the Uttarapada Lopascha Va Vyaktavya is what Katyayana says. It's a very famous Vartikam which is used all the time. These are very, very common compounds. So let me just go there quickly. So 2 to 24. 2 to 24. Okay. Anekamanya Padarthe 2 to 24. In that you see this Vartikam. It says, here it is, Pradibhyaha, on the Pradis, with 22, what we normally call Upasargas. It's not Upasarga. Upasarga is only Kriya Yoge. It's not Kriya. So actually this is fine. See, when the Pradi, when you have Pra plus Krita, it's still Upasarga because it becomes Adhikrita. So anyway, so Pradibhyaha, Dhatujasya Uttarapadasya Lopascha Va. So Dhatujasya, some participle form born from a Dhatu. Uttarapadasya Lopascha Va Vaktavyaha, which can take the Lopa optionally, and Bahuvrihi Vaktavyaha. So this Pradibhya Dhatujasya Uttarapadasya Lopascha Va Bahuvrihi Vaktavyaha, Sikas Prapatitam Paranam Praparanaha. It is a tree whose leaves have dropped away. Prapatita Paranaha, and so on. Okay, so that's what we get. So what Vigraha Vakyam is given? So 2 maybe I'll just put in document. For us, we have to use the 2 to 24. That Vartikam is what we need. 2 to 24 Vartikam. Okay. And it is a very common Vartikam. We'll be seeing that over and over again. It is going to come. Okay, so what does he say? Adhikrite. So he supplied the word krite. J means those 2 bows, there are 2 bows. J equals Maurvyau. Yayoho te. Adijya Dhanushi. So Adijya is qualifying Dhanushi. So there are 2 bows whose string has been placed. And he gives again, I've mentioned to you. Then Tayor Bhavaha. Tattam. So it is a state of these bows. So so Rama and Lakshmana took their bows to this state of being strung. So Tayor Bhavaha Tvatalau. That's a very easy sutram, I think, which you already saw. Then Panini has this section. So we made a tadita from that. So first a Bahuvrihi, Adijya. And then from that you have to make into the, again here also before we go there, look at the change in gender, by the way. This change in gender, right? So this, in fact, this is very confusing here, by the way. Let me just stop for 1 minute. This Adhikrite J equals Maurvyau. This J is a feminine. This is going to be a feminine nominative duo, the 2 bow strings. And then when he says yayoho te, this is like vanam vane vanani. This te form here is a neuter dual form qualifying dhanushi. And this adijya is also a neuter dual form. Because see, vanam vane vanani, that vane also is a dual form. And lata, late, lataha, late also is a dual form. So this ja shabda is like lata shabda. It has become into a dual form. But down here when you form the compound, this is now qualifying dhanushi. This adijya is a neuter dual form. This is qualifying dhanushi. It's very confusing. They look the same, don't they? This j is feminine nominative dual, and this adijya is going to be either neuter nominative or accusative dual. This is like vanam vane vanani. Okay? And then finally he makes the tasya bhavaha tvatalau. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. The state of that. Make a tadita from that. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I know we're out of time. But look at the change in gender. This ja was a neuter, was a feminine noun like lata. But when it came to qualify the board, became adijya became like vana, became like vanam. The fact that ja became ja, you can close your eyes and say it is Bahubri compound. Because it cannot change gender like that in any other compound generally. Okay, so alright, let's finish up the class. So 5.5.1, Tasya Bhavaha Tvatalau. I think it's 5.1, I think 119. Very nice section. It says thatness, So when something is, take the state of that. So that will take the pratyahas tva and tal. And that's 5.1.119. And as it turns out, the tva is used in the neuter form. The tal, halantyam, only ta remains, is used in the feminine, like gurutvam, guruta, mudhatvam, mudhata. So this adijyata is by 5.1.119. He has given the state of that. So by 5.1.119 is tasya bhavaha. So that he gives we add the pratyaha, add the tadhita affix, tadhita. So tadhita affix, tadhita pratyaha called tal. And then you do the ajadyata shtap. I mentioned to you that no feminine form can be used unless you run it through the routine starting from the 4.1.3 striyam adhikaraha. You cannot use any feminine form in this language unless it has passed through this routine. It has to pass through this routine. Then only you can use a feminine form. Like a computer program. If feminine, then run this routine. If feminine, then striyam. All the adhikara if-then statements, So if feminine, then run this routine. This first sutram says ajadyata shtap. If you have a shorter ending, it's going to take the pratyaya tap. Then you do akastama dirgha, make it long a. So even though we had adijyata, we make it adijyatam, adijyata by 4.1.4. We're looking at feminine form. So we add that. So by 4.1.4, we got the feminine affix. So add feminine affix down. So finally we have, and that's only to usage. Now why should the tal be used in feminine? That is the usage only. So add feminine affix top. So okay, so I think that will do it for us. So we got the adijyata. The state of being strung is adijyata. The state of being strung. And they took it to that state. And then I said to you, this dhatu ni has two objects. The two both were taken to that state. Okay, so the whole shloka reads, simple statement is what? Tau Rama Lakshmanau Dhanushi Adijyatam Ninyatuhu. They took their two bows to the state of being strung. So they have an adjective to them, Sthala Niveshitatani Rama Lakshmanau. They were the ones by whom the tips of the bows were kind of poked into the ground. And then they took this, all this happened, Pathi. Pathi means on the way. On the way which was made untrodden by the daughter of Suketu, and whose curse was known to them by the narration of Kaushika, who was their teacher. Let's do this. Who wants to do the translation for me? Who wants to try? Anybody? Nagaraja can. Last time we missed him, I think, so maybe he can try.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
On
Can you
the
hear me?
way. I can hear you. Yes.
Huh.
On the way.
Pathi.
Pathi. Okay. I think you have echo there. Anyway, on the way is Pathi. Laid waste.
Laid waste is Kalikute.
Khali
Kalikute.
By Suketu's daughter.
Suketa Tanatanaya.
Suketu Sutaya.
Suketa Sutaya.
Okay. Then of whose curse Kaushika has
Kaushik.
So Kaushikad. Go ahead.
Kaushikat.
Vidita Shapaya.
Vidita Shapaya.
Very good. So the known, spoken was known, which should be known.
Right.
Known to them is the Vidita, and the
Right.
curse is the Shapa. It became Bahuvrihi. And Kaushika is from Kaushika. They, what is they?
Tau.
They is Tau, very good. Playfully,
Leela.
Leelaya.
Leela.
So playfully, Leelaya, playfully. I'm going to lose the shloka.
Leela, right.
So, Leelaya eva.
Leela.
Then strung their bows. Okay, now we have to take this together now. We have to take it, this is the Adijyatam Ninyatuhu. Yeah, so we have, he says strung their bows.
Right.
They took them to the state of being strung.
Adijyatam Ninyatuhu.
So in fact, it should be Dhanushi also. So Dhanushi Adijyatam Ninyatuhu. So they took their bows. Okay, thank you. And then we have one more thing, which is having rested the bow ends on the grounds. Again, we really have a Bahuvri compound here, which is this, right?
Yeah.
Sthala
Sthala Niveshita Tatani.
Niveshatatani.
Niveshatatani.
So Niveshatatani, and then what we have to look at here is that the ground is the Sthala, the bow end is the Atani, which means Koti, and resting is the Niveshita, having rested, having made to enter. Okay, thank you, sir. So you have a knack for this, by the way. So let me stop here. Sorry for the going over. I didn't want to stop in the middle of the shloka also. A little bit of tough shloka. We had this tadita form of the chvi. We also had this this adijjatan bahuvri compound, and top we had the state. Then also we had that panchami, apadana panchami we also had the sandhi rule of the iranekacha sanyuga purvasya. So a lot of things. We had the patin pratipadikam basyater lopaha, which is not in 6.4. So a lot of things happening in this shloka. So but hopefully you can grasp. As long as we got this tika, that's what you need to make sure. You got everything what he has to say as far as possible. Then we are doing fine. Okay, so we stop the recording. I stay back for the questions. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vajay Ramena Vyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Sosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhotame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sasanama Tattilyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana On Nama Iti. Any question? I'll stay back.